You can see me.
No, they can't. They couldn't, but I can. I'm like, she's doing a lot over there.
Right, I'm doing too much.
Right. I'm like, okay. Hey
Yes.
everyone. Welcome back to the Chicago Home Buyer Show where
Woo-hoo.
Lisa acts out.
Right, that I do.
Okay. It really is where we have practical non-pressure conversations about
Yes.
buying, selling, financing, and navigating Chicago land real estate market. Right? That's what we
Yep.
all about. So, my name is Dione Branch, and I am a realtor. And I help buyers understand the market, the neighborhoods, search for contracts, inspections, and what it takes to make a smart real estate decision. And
Yes,
I'm,
and
yeah.
and I am acting out Lisa. The house money mama, I'm your mortgage loan originator. I am on the broker side. So I have a variety of different lenders that we can work with. And usually what I do is I'm able to help you understand credit, income, payments, loan options, and things like that, and how to become mortgage ready.
Hmm.
So what we talking about today, Miss Dion?
Yeah, well, today we're talking about the five biggest mistakes first time buyers make.
Yes. And let me
Hmm.
say this up front. First time buyers are not making mistakes because they're careless. Most of the time, they simply have not been taught the process.
Correct. Yeah. And a lot of times they don't know. Even if you purchased a home a while ago, things have changed. You asked somebody 20 years ago, everything is different. So it does um, take a lot to actually purchase a house. So today we're going to walk you through the five common mistakes, what they can
Yep.
cost you, and what to do instead. All right.
What's the first mistake?
Shopping before understanding the process.
Ding, ding, ding,
We
ding,
always have
ding,
those
ding,
people.
ding.
They like, the first mistake is shopping before you understand how to purchase, right? Where they on Zillow, they on Redfin, they are,
Mm-hmm.
trying to view houses. A lot of first time buyers start with the fun stuff. Just like I'm saying, scrolling, listing, saving the house, driving past
Yep.
properties, right? And imagining
Mm-hmm.
where the couch go, right? It's normal. A lot of people always are dreaming on Zillow for years, right? They're
Yes.
on there just,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I was on there. I saw this house. Sometimes a person that I may work with knows more about a property than I do, and that's kind of bad, but it's we go to the property and I said, "Oh, it's new on the market." They're like, "Oh no, it's been on the market about 3 times." I was like, I'm like,
Wow.
huh?
You just sitting in the cut
Just watching.
watching.
Just watching. So,
Right. That's
right.
creepy.
So before you start shopping, you should understand a few things, right? How showings work. How
Mm-hmm.
how do I go about seeing the house? What happens when I make an offer?
Yeah.
What is earnest money?
That's a good
Hmm.
question.
What's an inspection? What's a home inspection? Right? How much does it cost? What's the purpose of it? Right? What
Mm-hmm.
attorney review means. So in Illinois, you have attorneys help you with your purchase, and so
That
In the
they do.
beginning of the transaction, you have an attorney review period. And so, what happens between contract and closing? You work a lot with Lisa. Hmm. Right. So, and what timelines you may be working with. And so these are all things that I as a realtor and Lisa as a lender can definitely help you with. So buying a home is
Yeah.
not just finding the house that you like. Uh, it's about making legal, financial, and lifestyle decisions. So yeah, my
Absolutely.
advice is learn the process before you fall in love with the house.
Yeah, because on the mortgage side, shopping a little bit too early can cause a different kind of problem. So you may start emotionally attaching yourself to homes before you know what price
Yeah.
range even makes
Hmm.
sense. And that's a hurting feeling. You didn't fell in love with a house and now you figure out that you can't afford it, you can't buy it. So instead of going through that, that emotional turmoil, instead, how about it before you shop, you find out the following. So, how much you actually qualify for. You're thinking about what payment feels comfortable for you. How much money do you need for down payment and closing costs? Whether your credit is in a position to help you to be able to buy a house, because we do look at credit. So, you got to be credit ready. Um, Looking at your income, there's a certain way that I have to analyze that. And, if there's any issues that we need to address before you would be ready to buy. Because the goal is not to just get approved, but you want to be able to shop with confidence. And the only way you can do that is if you know your numbers, because you're not just looking at houses, you're looking at the possibilities that are going to match, your
Yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah, yeah,
So you want to know all those things before you go out and
yeah.
start looking.
A lot of times I may have a buyer that their approval, let's say their approval is 250,000, and they want to go and look
Yeah.
at a house for 300,000. I'm like, nah, right,
Right.
right.
Not unless you have $50,000 in the bank that you plan
That's
on putting down.
right, right, right.
Right.
For me, the last thing I want you to do is fall in love with something that you actually can't purchase, and everything is gonna
Right.
be looked at, compared,
Compared
right,
to that property that you
to
can't
that
afford.
property, right.
Yes.
And so, oh, the other bathrooms were so much nicer. Oh, the bedroom isn't all that big in this house. I wanted one like the other house. So, yeah,
Right.
it's definitely know your budget and stay within your budget. It's for sure.
Absolutely, because it costs 50,000 and $100,000 more for a
Hmm.
reason.
Yeah. So mistake number two. All right. So, mistake number two is confusing your wants with your needs.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, another good
Right. This
one.
is a big one for first time buyers. It's like, I need something that affects your daily life or your ability to live comfortably in the home. A want is something that would be nice to have, but it should not
Right.
control the entire decision.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. That's a good way to say
Yeah.
it.
So I want a basement. Do you need a basement or you just want a basement? I want a garage. I won't look at any houses if they don't have a garage. Okay, but this has
Hmm.
a slab where you can park, lots of ample parking, but it doesn't have a garage. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So those are some things. So example is needs may include location, number of
Hmm.
bedrooms. Let's
Okay.
say parking is a need. Commute, school decisions,
Yeah.
definitely. Public transportation, safety and comfort, and space for children, parents, and your work from home. Those are your
Yeah.
needs. Those can follow in the needs
Hmm.
category. A want is an updated kitchen, finished
Hmm.
basement, fireplace. I need a large yard.
Right. My yard got to be huge, bigger than the house.
And a walk-in closet. I want all
Hmm.
new appliances and perfect
Yes.
painted colors.
Now that shouldn't even be on anybody's list because it's a house. You can paint it whatever you want
But you
it.
don't understand how many people fall in love with a gray and white house. The house, it could be the same house, but maybe not freshly painted new, the newer colors,
Okay.
and they won't look at it
Okay.
the same as if it was the gray and white and with all the stainless steel appliances. Same
Wow.
house. Okay. So my
Wow.
advice is to make two lists before you shop. And
Uh-huh.
so one is your must haves, and the other one is going
Hmm.
to be your nice to haves.
Good, good, good advice. So what I would say from the lending side is that your wants and needs do show up in your monthly payment. So some buyers say that they only want a move-in ready place, and that's understandable, but move-in ready homes may cost more, and that higher price will obviously increase the monthly mortgage payment. So you want to keep that in mind. And sometimes people will say, okay, well, I talked to somebody, I think, was that earlier today or that might have been Friday, but they were saying, oh, well, I'm going to tell you, all my information. You tell me what's the most amount that I can qualify for. Well, that's not really the way to make your decision.
Hmm.
You want to make the decision by what you're comfortable with, for your monthly payment. Not just say, well, I'm gonna get the most that I possibly can. I don't think that's probably not the wisest. You want to make sure it's going to be affordable because there's no sense in getting something that's the biggest you can qualify for if your situation changes in 2, 3, 5, 7 years and now you don't qualify anymore. You can't keep it, you end up
Right.
losing it. So foreclosure is a real thing and we never want to see that happen to
Yeah. Yeah.
anybody. um, so before you decide what you want, you really need to understand what each choice is going to do to your budget, like how it's going to have an impact on your budget. So, a bigger house may mean higher taxes, higher insurance, higher utilities, more maintenance. A HOA might add convenience, but it's also going to be more money that you have to pay every month
Hmm.
for the HOA
Yep.
dues. So, before you chase the dream kitchen, make sure the total payment doesn't put your budget in the chokehold.
Yes. Yes. And a lot of times, a lot of buyers, oh, I was approved for 500, and they're looking at houses $510,000. Well, you already looking at
Mhm.
the max. So,
At your max,
like,
right?
what are we doing? So
Right.
let's talk
Yes.
about mistake
Yes.
number three, right?
Okay.
Ignoring the conditions of the property.
Hmm.
So first time buyers often look at the home. How does the home look, right? But the condition,
Hmm. Aesthetics.
right,
Yeah.
aesthetics, right? But the condition goes deeper than the paint, the flooring, and the staging, right? So
Correct.
you want to pay attention to a few things. Uh, the
Okay.
roof age, windows,
Hmm. It's a big one. Hmm.
foundation concerns.
And that's coming up
Yeah,
more. Yeah.
yeah. Plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling system, the water
Hmm.
issues, signs of poor maintenance, all right, and
Hmm.
whether updates were done properly. Right. So even for
Yep.
a rehab property, you might want to look a little closer because sometimes it could be a person who's rehabbing who really doesn't have experience. You can see the difference in the work.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why home inspections, I know we talk about that because that is a question I get a lot of times. Like, do I need to do? Well, no, you don't. I can't force you to do it. You don't have to do it. The only thing that's required is the appraisal. That's for the
Hmm.
lender. But home inspections are so
Yeah.
important. They're
So I
so
tell my
important.
clients, yes, you need to do a home inspection. I don't sugarcoat it.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
sugarcoat it because when they don't do the home inspection
Yeah.
and there's a problem with the property, they're going to come back and ask me. So I
Mm-hmm.
always say, yes, you do need to do a home inspection. It gives you a lot of
Mm-hmm.
information about the property. It helps you be well knowledgeable in your decisions. So,
Yeah.
mhm,
Amen
yeah.
to that.
So, so the inspection is not about finding the perfect house, though, right? The purpose of the inspection is for them to actually find problems, issues with the home, and share them with you. Some things are for
Okay.
safety, some things may
Yeah.
need to be done right away, and some things are just for your information. And so you take that
Okay.
inspection and you take that information and you decide which of the things that you actually want to make any requests, because we're during the attorney review period. And so you
Yeah.
decide, okay, I'd like to request these few things to be repaired. And so then you send it back to the seller. So it's
Yeah.
important for the home inspection because you definitely want to take the time and be educated on the home. So,
Absolutely.
and so my advice is don't let the pretty distract you from the practical.
Good advice.
Mhm.
On my side, I would also just kind of throw in the property condition can affect the loan. So some buyers don't realize that, the lender also has an interest in the property. They think, we give you the money, it's all yours. It's really not. But if we honest about it, I think this is kind of funny. But um, you on title as owning the property, but realistically, who actually owns the property is the one who you paying the
Mhm.
mortgage to, because we have the money into it and you're paying it back. Once you pay it back, like once you have a home that's free and clear, that's when I consider you as
The
actually
owner. Yeah,
own
the
it.
owner. Mhm.
Right? Yeah, but we do as a lender, we have an interest in the property, so it's got to be acceptable for us to be in the loan program. It's so depending on the loan type, certain issues may create problems. If you have like FHAs and the government loans, anything to end in A is big on things being move-in ready. Like there are certain things, health and safety issues and things like that, that they will not tolerate. Like the peel and paint is a big thing, missing utilities, things that are broken, or habitability issues, things like that. They all have to be addressed. And repairs are going to cost money. So even when the home qualifies for financing, buyers still may need to ask themselves this question: will I have enough money left after closing to handle what this home is going to need? Um, you'll also need life after closing money.
Yeah,
Because the money doesn't stop flowing just because you signed your name on the dotted line and now you're going to be paying a mortgage in a couple of months. You got to move in. There may be some things that you do. A lot of people will paint, change locks, things like that. All of these things cost money. And there may be some small things that do need repair. Maybe they weren't required to be repaired on the appraisal, but you may still want to repair them, for your standard of living. So all those are things to keep in
yes,
mind.
yeah. Some good advice. All right, let's
Hmm.
go.
How about mistake number
Mistake
4?
number 4. So, it's mistake number 4 is making big financial changes during the home buying process.
I want y'all to know what that look is for. If you've ever heard the fingernails going across the
Yeah.
chalkboard, that's what
So when
that
I
is.
so when I
Go ahead.
called my buyer and I said, "Hey, I was just checking in with you. What you doing?" And they said, "Oh, I'm at the car dealer."
You
Excuse me? Stop. What you doing? Right? What do you mean you at the car dealer? You about to lose your whole house, sir.
Right, your entire
You
house.
about to lose your whole house. What are you doing?
I guess you're planning on living
Right.
in that car.
Oh, I just gave them my driver's license to run my credit. Lord, could you run in there, go get your license, snatch it out of their hand because you cannot
Because you are
even
about to
run
not be able to buy a
your
house
credit.
because
You
of a car.
cannot run
Yeah.
your credit on something else, on a think about purchasing furniture or anything, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yeah.
buyers need to understand that once you are under contract, the process is still not over.
That's right.
There are still some important steps that have to happen. It's the inspection,
Mm-hmm.
the attorney review, the appraisal, loan
Yep.
conditions. You working with Lisa, she's looking at, getting all the information from you, making sure that everything that the bank needs to know, that she's getting that information from you. A final
Yep.
walkthrough and then a closing. Then a close.
Right.
Once you close, you really, they say you really shouldn't even buy anything like for a few weeks after you close, because they still run some report stuff.
Po- Post closing. We still do some post closing
Yes.
things. Yeah.
So stay focused. Do
Yep.
not assume just because the seller accepted your offer, you are done. Right?
Right. That's
Right?
still the
Missing
beginning.
timeline and not responding quickly can create unnecessary stress or even uh, risk the deal. Right?
Yep.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you wrote on that contract that you were going to close within 30 days. Within those 30 days, the seller is preparing their house in order for them to get out of their home and possibly purchase
Yeah.
another home. So you
Yep.
can't take your time and decide not to respond to the lender and provide them all the information that they need. You can't be out
Yep.
there shopping for, for the furniture, for the baby beds.
Right. For automobiles, for yachts, stuff like that. Oh,
Right.
right. Can't be doing
Cannot be
that.
doing.
As a matter of fact, don't open any new credit cards. Don't finance furniture. Buy a car. Don't co-sign for anybody. Please, Lord Jesus, don't do that. And don't make any large deposits. If you can't tell me where the money is coming from and show me evidence of it in writing, don't do it. Because if you come in and put $7,000 in cash into the deposit into your account, that's going to likely be a problem. Depending on how much money you make, but it's going to more than likely
Right.
be a problem. So don't change jobs. Don't move money around. I don't know why some people seem to just like to play tic tac toe with their money, and they'll move it from this account to that account, from that same account back to the other account. Like, why are you even moving it? You're not doing nothing with it. You might as well just leave it in one
Why is it
account.
moving all over the place?
Yes, yes. But they moving it, and so now it's like it's zigzag. The underwriter got to do this, got to do that. And what you don't want to do, you don't want to make things harder for the
Yeah.
underwriter. Okay. You really want to make things as easy for the underwriter as possible. So, yeah, don't move around money. Don't run up your credit card balances, because your loan approval is based on your entire financial picture at that time.
Mhm.
If the picture changes, then your approval can change too. So, you want to keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Keys first, couches and cars later.
Yes. Yes.
What about the last mistake? We got one more.
Mistake number 5 is waiting too long to build the right team.
That's a good one.
Hmm. Right. So a lot of first time buyers, you wait until that you find a house before you reach out to a realtor, right? Because you was on that Zillow, you was on the realtor.com, you was just scrolling away. Oh, I really like this
Right.
house. So now you're like, oh, let me see if I could request a tour. And then not my first question. I do ask questions, other questions, but the important one is, are you pre-approved? Have you spoken to a lender?
Mm,
Mm. And so
yes.
you gotta first, before you reach out to the realtor, lender, inspector, or insurance professional. Like there's a bunch of people that you need in this process.
Yep.
Lisa and I, we have a team of people that work with us, so we make your job a little easier. If you
Yes.
want to have your own home inspector, you can do that as well. But right,
Absolutely.
we do have people that we can refer. So right,
Yeah.
so when you have the right team
Absolutely.
early, you ask better questions and avoid,
Yeah.
those mistakes. So.
Mm-hmm.
So your rules can help you understand the local market, neighborhood differences, pricing, showing strategies, um,
Yeah.
offer terms, because we're going to discuss the offer, the inspection,
Yep.
negotiation. Your realtor is going to hold your hand and walk you through their most attend the inspection. I do with my clients. Yeah. And then we talk about it, talk about the things you want to ask for, making sure that we're requesting the major things. And then I write it up and I send it to the attorney. So actually, I do some of the attorney's job because I want to make sure that everything is covered. All right. So, and we talk about what's normal and what's a red flag.
Okay.
So your team is important. Make sure you pick the right one.
Absolutely. And do it as soon as possible, sooner rather than later. Because I have seen deals that kind of fall apart because of the fact that they didn't have all the pieces in place. Bringing an attorney late, we 3 weeks in the contract, and now you retain an attorney. That might not be the
No.
best strategy. So yeah, as your lender, I should not be the last person invited to this party. I should actually be your first stop. You want to talk to your lender early, not because you have to buy tomorrow, but because you need to be prepared and know where you
Mm-hmm.
stand. So, we'll talk about loan options, credit, documents you're going to need. And like I mentioned earlier, some of those other things as far as, money for down payment and things like that. But everybody's not in the same place. Some people are ready right now. Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, I talked to a lady. She just did not want to talk to me. Her mom kept saying, "You need to talk to Lisa. You need to talk to Lisa." And she's like, "I don't need to talk to Lisa, Mom. I'm not ready. My credit is not good enough, and this and that." Finally, to make her mama shut up, she finally said, "Okay, I'm gonna call and let her know I'm not ready." So she called me. We talked, and I was like, "Well, actually, it sounds to me like you're ready to buy a home." She was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "I've been doing this a good enough time to know what I'm talking
Right.
about." Yes, you're ready. So you don't really know where you are. You might think that you know, but you may not really know because you're not, the insider, the professional, the one who's doing this day in and day out. So you don't know what things are applicable. Some things you might be making a big deal of really might not even be a
Yeah.
big deal. So you may be ready
Right.
now, or you may be overconfident and you may need another 90
To
days.
do it.
So we could put together a plan so you'll be ready in the next 3 months. And sometimes it's 6 months, but whatever it is, the earlier you get that information, the better position that you're going to be in. So you don't want to wait until you're emotionally attached to a house, because that's like picking a wedding venue before you know whether the other person's going to
If
say
they even
yes.
ask you. So, right. And
Right.
I think that's important. A lot of people come to us, they ask us, when do I start buying a home? And so um yeah,
Today.
it's always, if you're planning on purchasing a home, I would say go ahead, give us a call, contact us so we can go ahead and do our favorite P word is plan and prepare, right? Like,
Prepare.
and so then by the
Yes.
time that you're actually have everything in order, that might be another 3 months. And so now you can go ahead and get your approval and start to look for houses. So,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Okay.
So
How about some final
yeah,
words?
final advice to buyers is to slow down enough to get educated before you make the big mistakes. You don't need to know everything, but you do need to understand the
Mm-hmm.
process, your priorities, and you need to listen. You need to listen to your team because they're the ones that are educated in the home buying process. And so make sure
Yeah.
you listen to us. So the goal is not just to buy a home, but the goal is to get the right home for your life.
Absolutely. And the last thing I would say is just don't disqualify yourself, but don't guess either. You want to actually get real information, real numbers and things like that. So that way you have an idea of where you actually are. It's not a maybe this or maybe that. You know, again, as part of preparation and planning, you'll know exactly where you are, what you need to do next. And then, you get on that road to home ownership.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we've been here for a little while again.
We both thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So, my name's Dione Branch with the Lord Dreams Homes, broker by EXP. And if you're thinking of purchasing within the next 6 months, give me a call. Come, give me a call. Let's talk about it. And then, if you're ready for Linda, you could go ahead and give Lisa White a call, and she can go ahead and help
Yes.
you as well. She can also make a plan, start you with your plan.
Yep.
So,
Yes, because sometimes the plan needs to be financial. So,
mm-hmm. All
absolutely. Thank you all so much for joining us. And if you are a first time buyer, we hope this really helped you understand what to avoid before making your big move.
yes, yes. Bye.
See you next week.